This is Jeremy Sheehan with an update since we last spoke on what's been happening with the Transmigration project. Basically, I've been concentrating in three areas: on getting funding for the project, on finding a spot for the finished works to go, and on actually getting them out there, on sending them away. There's been some fairly substantial developments, I guess, in all three of those areas. If we start with the funding first, I was originally thinking about doing crowdfunding or something like that, but it's been very fortunate in that the more people I've spoken to, people have actually started to come forward and say they want to do something to help. So we're getting close to about halfway there, just from contacts that students have, from people that I've spoken to, and other people that have kind of come in on the project along the way. So it's looking pretty good there. The second area, I guess, is on actually getting the works to the islands. We've got about half the islands, or just under, pretty well sorted. So we're about halfway there, got the other half to go. And I'd like to get those done as soon as I can. That's kind of been nagging away at me. But again, that's looking good. It seems to be building momentum. Once it's up and rolling with one island, it seems to be kind of snowballing on to the next one, which is a great thing. And the third one, I guess, that we need to cover, and probably the most significant, is that in the last update I mentioned that I was going to apply to get the work into Sculpture by the Sea. And we were actually successful with that, which is a big deal. I didn't really think that was going to happen, to be honest. So that's a great thing. But it does mean a whole, well, basically it's like introducing a whole group of other collaborators into the work. 2 weeks ago I went down for the site meeting with the organisers of Sculpture by the Sea, and that went very well. Secretly, I was kind of hoping to get this out of the way spot for the work, where people might just come across it on their, on their walk from Bondi to Tamarama. However, we've been given a prime position right out in front of the Tamarama Surf Club on the railing, which means that you can't miss it. So I guess there's a lot of pressure there in the last 2 weeks. Other than stressing over how I'm going to get it done to their standard, it's been working out lots of things. And one of them is how to get one of these, which is the armature. That's what's under the bird. It's covered in this stuff, which there's no shortage of course, ocean plastic. How to actually get that to sit on the railing in about a 30 or 40 knot southerly wind. Basically, we've got to work out a way to stop it doing that with the wind. I think we're there. I was fortunate enough to speak to Ron Robertson-Swan, who suggested a system of steel wire and crimps to hold it on, and I guess we go with what he says. He's the expert after all. So that's the plan there, and I think that one's pretty well solved. I have been making, we've got a plan B though. The people at Sculpture by the Sea were quite concerned that what would happen, how would they pass the 5-year-old kid test, where a 5-year-old gets the work and does that. And I'm okay with that, and I think all the people that are collaborating on the project, we're ready for it, and if the work gets wrecked, well, that's part of it. But we do have a plan B, and that's if the works actually start disappearing one bird at a time, we're going to make some extra ones. So I've been making these in my spare time. I've got an extra 25 armatures ready to go, so we'll have at least the equivalent number of spares for works that get destroyed. So that's pretty much where we're at the moment. The big one, of course, is the Sculpture by the Sea. And really that's taken precedence over everything else. The way that I think that I'll present the work, as far as documentation goes, is in a book format. I've been working on that for a while, but I seem to have to edit it and change it with every development that comes along in the project. And I guess that's not such a bad thing after all. But the book is quite lengthy, and it's mainly sort of pictures with a bit of text. And I think that's also been quite beneficial in helping me think through the project, but also further down the track when we have to make up that shortfall in funding, it kind of gives everybody an idea into what's going on. So that's where we are at the moment. Speak to you next time.